And now for something completely different.
Forget everything you've been told by others before. Get ready for the real deal. The full story. Real talk about money, markets, life. Now, it's The Real Investment Show, presented by RIA Advisors.
And welcome. It's Financial Fitness Friday. I'm Rich Rosso, certified financial planner. Here with Matt Damon Doyle. I hope that metal in your leg doesn't
I missed
create
that
any
intro.
kind of
I really
interference there, Matt. Yeah, Matt was in a pretty serious accident. That's what happens when you ride a moped on I-45.
Yeah, but you don't ask Lance's wife about that.
No, I won't. I give you credit, yet I don't, because one of my favorite actors is Robert Patrick.
Okay.
From The Terminator.
Yeah.
He's also in 1923. This dude is in a motorcycle gang.
Oh, okay.
And he goes all over the country. He just finished wrapping up Tulsa King. So he goes from Georgia to Ohio on his motorcycle.
Okay.
To visit mom.
Okay.
Then he's going to go back.
Why you're not going to visit mom? You want to see mom.
You want to see mom. Yeah, that's right. You want to see mom. And then he's going back to, I think, L.A. So he's got all his garb, and he gets off his bike, and he reports about it. You know, it's just cool to watch him. It makes you want to be on that bike, except when you're here in Houston, then you realize that maybe you don't. But it's interesting to watch his travails there. It's really, really cool. So
travails?
Yeah. You call them travails because you can die at any minute.
Okay.
So not travels.
Not travels.
But
travails.
Yeah, so the so the thing is, I'm glad you're okay. Glad you're here.
Yeah.
And
I'm my right leg is now invincible.
You set off all the alarms at the airport. You set off the metal detectors.
I mean, they don't make you take your shoes off anymore. So
that's true. That's finally, that's such a big deal. You know what? When you would go through airport, you just never knew what the policy was because there were some airports,
right?
And sometimes I go to not that they're that small, but there are some places I go that are pretty small, and the airports are very small, and they don't require it,
right?
And then you'll go to some obviously larger airports, and they do require it. So it's nice to know that you can.
It's consistent.
It's consistent, and you can keep your shoes on.
You can keep your shoes on. That's an important feature.
I heard you got to take your shirt off now.
It's not a bug.
You can. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I went through security one time, and I had this guy yell at me.
Yeah.
Right. Like I get up there, and I'm getting undressed and all of this stuff, and then
maybe he said you shouldn't be getting undressed. We don't want you to be totally naked to go through the machine.
Yeah. No, I mean I think that was his first comment.
Okay.
And then nobody wants to see that. Uh-huh. But I pulled out the laptop. He's like, "Hey, buddy, that's a lovely laptop you have there. Why are you showing it to everybody?"
Oh. In other words, in most cases, you're supposed to take the laptop out and put it in the separate container.
Right.
Right. But then you go through some of the smaller airports and they say, no, leave it in your bag. Correct. So we still got conflicting data when it comes to electronics, but at least you can keep your shoes.
Well, but you take your shoes off and it might be a bomb.
Don't say that word in line.
No, never. So
you don't want to mix shoe and bomb on the line because Matt will be the one that gets the whole thing initiated again, right? Because he said shoe and bomb.
Cavity search.
So keep that.
That's my kink.
Yeah. Speaking of cavity searches, it's a strong start to earnings season. That is a terrible transition. It has no connection whatsoever. I'm just trying to get us out of the shoe talk. Feel like Al Bundy here at the shoe store. For you people who need to look it up, Married with Children, one of the best shows on TV, no longer would be allowed. It would be completely banned. Still funny as hell.
I almost wore, since this is our last live show, I almost wore, I have a no ma'am t-shirt.
You no way have one of those.
I do. I almost wore it in today.
Al Bundy was part of the No Ma'am Club, and it was like the symbol for female with a no ma'am in the middle with a line through it. It was pretty funny. Yeah, I also when he was part of the bald club, when everybody was bald and they're all commiserating, and he goes, I thought I was bald, but I'm not bald. You guys are bald.
You guys are bald.
You could not run that show today, but I still watch it. Yeah. Also, Gary from Red Eye Radio. My pal Gary McNamara, one of the best in the business, loves that show. Along with Alf. We like Alf, too. What can I say? We're still stuck in the 80s.
Well, hold on. We like cat food? Is that what you're saying?
We do. We like cats, not cat food.
Not cat
or
food.
Cats as food. So stock futures are up again this morning. Ho-hum. That seems to be the normal way things are going. We've had financial updates from banks, consumer-focused companies. Economy still very resilient. The sky isn't falling. I'm sorry, Chicken Littles out there. Out there, I have a few at the top of my list that are probably not happy that the economy is resilient. Thoughtful money. So I... Sorry. Love you, Adam. Love you, Adam. I have a love-hate with Adam. I love him, but come on, man. It's not always doom and gloom. Have a drink, man. Sit down. Look at the data. By the way, I've heard from the White House that they're pushing Lance to release the chart files. He's got some hidden charts he has not shown us yet, I am sure, that we do need to see. They're coming. So Friday
in 2
morning.
weeks. 2 weeks they'll be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always said on his gravestone, there would be like the crossovers on the moving averages.
Yeah.
With the arrows pointing down.
Okay.
Yeah. So another
read. It's the ultimate death cross.
The ultimate death cross, right? Oh, man, that is pretty good. All right, so we have today...
Lance, if you're listening, don't listen.
He's not. He doesn't listen to this show. He finds it boring. A Friday show is boring. Friday show in financial planning, on all that stuff, right? You know how it says, how Al Bundy had a no ma'am shirt?
Yeah.
He's got a no planning shirt. It's with the line through it.
At what point did we lose control of this show?
He's really not that bad, though. He understands. The one thing about Lance, I've always admired Lance. Lance and I had lunch before we joined up. I think I met him in 2006 or 7. We talked about the financial crisis and what he was doing. But Lance was always like this amazing, just candid guy coming where I was, and everything was all roses. Lance was amazing. And what we did was we looked at how I did planning and how he did investment analysis and said, this would be a good combination, like the Brady Bunch. There's a one day when this fellow met this fellow. And this
who was Jan in this scenario?
Connie, for sure. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Jan. I mean, you gotta understand that it's going off.
Get daily investment news you can use, delivered at the speed of the internet at realinvestmentadvice.com.
Got questions about retirement? Let's talk about it over coffee. Our next Candid Coffee event isn't another sales pitch. It's your chance to learn how to turn savings into strategy and risk into confidence. Richard Rosso and Jonathan McCarty share the RIA Retirement Blueprint Saturday, July 19th, in a special Candid Coffee edition designed to help you structure your savings, level your risk, and craft a secure future. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Register now for the RIA Retirement Blueprint, Saturday, July 19th at realinvestmentadvice.com.
Attention Chevron employees and anyone else receiving or considering a company severance package. We know the process can be intimidating. What should you know to maximize your payout? Lump sum or pension annuity, retirement plan rollover or not? What about tax timing your severance? The fiduciary advisors at RIA Advisors can help you make the best decisions for your situation. Call us today at 855-742-7526. That's 855-742-PLAN or online at realinvestmentadvice.com.
The Real Investment Show.
RIA Advisors Research is the envy of the industry. Our economic insights are featured on advisorperspectives.com, Fox Business, and MarketWatch. RIA provides advisors with marketing and back office support, objective research, and holistic, cutting-edge financial planning tools to meet your clients' needs. Want to join a winning team and be part of a fiduciary culture where you can do your best work? Then why haven't you contacted us yet? Go to our confidential advisor hub at realinvestmentadvice.com. RIA Advisors. Big enough where it matters, agile enough when it counts.
And now, another page from the Real Investment Advisors Investing Manifesto. Manage risk and volatility rather than trying to manage gains. You don't have to be right all the time. Long-term investing success is a 70% gain. Let us help you reach your financial goals with RIA Advisors. Neither bull nor bear. RIA Advisors, 281-501-1791 or online at realinvestmentadvice.com.
You're listening to The Real Investment Show.
And welcome back. So some of you probably heard the ad for the RIA Retirement Blueprint. It's a great photo of Jonathan McCarty on the ad. I look like I just rolled out of bed. He looks like he should have an American flag behind him like he's running for Congress. Just shows the differences in our personalities. But he really does. Looks like a congressman in this photo. He just needs the flag behind him, really. He's that serious about stuff, really. He's a serious young man. I like him. But we're going to try to fit in as much as we can in about 30 minutes. And then for 30 minutes, take your questions. But this is really about a retirement structure. You know, it's all about how do you look at the risk? How do you look at Social Security, Medicare? We want to give you the framework and also talk about the qualitative elements of retirement because, again, retirement is also not only a financial phenomenon, it is a emotional one as well, as a lot of people can attest to. So we want to make sure that you sit in for that Saturday, July 19th, starts at 8 o'clock. You register at realinvestmentadvice.com. It'll be on StreamYard and take up an hour of your day, but you will gain a lot, and Jonathan might sign a bill for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were using that hour anyway.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing. We have really good turnouts for these. I think the last one we had, I don't know how many hundreds of people that, you know, just before you get your day going, they show up. Did you want to say something there, Professor Brent?
The kids are asleep.
The kids are asleep.
Go into the kitchen.
The dogs are up and barking at the landscapers and stuff.
Pull out your laptop. And
Listen in.
Sign in.
Listen in. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's one of the things we do best. One of the things I mentioned about Lance when we got together was the way he looked at investments, that you just don't have to set them and forget them. The way we were taught, there is a happy medium between being a frenzied active trader and just shut the investments up and never look at them again. Shut them out. Don't look at your statements. I'm not a big fan of the line that gets out, the aphorism, hey, get out there, just don't look at your statements. It's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's your money. You should look at them. It's what you do after you look at them that you need the guidance, okay? Yeah. Wait, I hate
if somebody's telling you it's not your money, then you probably shouldn't be working with them.
Yeah, I don't like advisors that say, just go on a beach. Don't worry about it. No, the reason you have money is because you worried about it. People need to have what I call that resonant hum in their head, in the back of their head. And we're going to talk about this credit score stuff later. We're going to talk about how Your credit score is shaped by the neighborhood you grew up in, but also your money script. You have to keep this in mind that the reason why you have the money is because you do worry. It's people that excessively worry and excessively underspend that don't enjoy their retirement.
Right.
Right. So and
They're
we
sacrificing.
They sacrifice. So we have tools that help people try to understand that there's a little bit more leeway. We help them create guardrails. We help them to look at here's what you can do now. Here's what you can do if the markets get turbulent. Here's if things are running on all cylinders, what you can do. Give yourself a raise. Whether you take it or not, whether you create that income is up to you. But at least what we're saying to you, here's the bandwidth. So in other words, if you say, I can only spend $2,000 a month, and that's what I'm going to do, and we say you can take 4, you can still stick to your 2. But you just know in the back of your mind emotionally that you can do more if you want to. So, again, we have stock futures up slightly this morning, but we do have, again, we're right at the start of earnings season. We've had some pretty solid earnings. I'm actually, after Ransom Canyon, I'm surprised Netflix has lifted their 2025 revenue guidance. I'm kidding. I didn't think that was such a bad series. Netflix seems to have, Matt, figured out the formula because it is so nebulous to me, to people's tastes in programming. Like, I have Netflix.
Yeah.
But I also have Paramount Plus because that's where Taylor Sheridan stuff is, 1923, 1883.
Yeah, I have no idea who those people are.
No, I understand. But what I'm saying is, it's a very fleeting relationship with streaming services.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
So-
I don't know if it's a fleeting relationship or not, but I can tell you that Netflix is the only one that I don't have. I've got HBO
Okay.
and Disney
Okay.
and Hulu.
Hulu, which is Disney Plus, or
Right.
Disney, yeah.
Well, I mean, but they're only like I think they're only like a 30% owner. Disney's only like a 30%
that's true.
owner in Hulu.
That's true.
Right. So I got all those, and the one that I purposefully leave off is Netflix.
But I'm going to tell you what's interesting about Netflix.
Yeah.
So the CEO, Gregory Peters, he says there's stability in consumer metrics, which to me, stability and any kind of subscription service, streaming service it's like oil and water, right? They don't mix. But
Right.
but with them, they're doing it. Retention is stable and industry leading. See, that's the thing. No significant shifts in plan mix or price change impact.
Okay.
But here's where they're getting their audience. So my daughter came in from college. She's finishing up her PhD in mathematics.
Okay.
She stayed with me. And all she's not on social media. A lot of her friends are in their 20s. They do not like social media. They said, that's for you people. We don't like it. Okay. We don't like, there's a percentage of Gen Z
Yeah.
that are on social media.
Not.
But they get all the attention.
Okay.
Like the Gen Zs are all a bunch of dumbasses. That's not true. A lot of the Gen Zs are out there. Listen, we have Gen Zs here. We have interns here that are amazing, right? There are a lot of young people that actually don't like social media, and they actually are productive.
Okay.
You just don't know it because you see all the influencers and the digital creators that wind up falling off a cliff or something and dying. Which is usually, look where I am. I'm 300 miles above the earth. Ah! And then they're
Social
gone.
media Darwinism.
It is. It's sort of media Darwinism. She watches Netflix. So, of course, I had to ask her. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you don't watch anything. I don't think you watch anything. Cause
Like
I
on
see-
TikTok. Like
Yeah,
she's not looking at.
She's not on TikTok either.
Okay.
No. A lot of the younger kids like the videos on YouTube and TikTok, but Gen Z's, like at the edge of the tech was just coming in when my daughter was young. We had a computer with the massive monitor that took up most of the space.
Right.
Right. We were doing like Dora the Explorer stuff, like moving her through, downtown Houston and stuff. And ironically, she's there now. So we would do this, but it was nothing like it is today. So
Okay.
these kids don't like social media. They find it unhealthy for their psyche.
Right.
But she watches Netflix.
They want to go to the bar. Like they don't want to.
They want to go out. Like
Yeah.
they want to go out.
You're
They
right.
want experiences.
They want to experience the world.
actually want the 3D world,
Yeah.
except for Generation Alpha, that's younger. that seem to live in the screen, and
Yeah.
that's going to be a trouble. She says, Dad, these people don't know. These Generation Alphas, because she also teaches at Emory, they don't know how to talk to you. They have
Right.
no idea on how to converse outside of the screen.
Right.
And they need to have these people skills because
Right.
she has very good people skills as well as analytical skills. But she watches Netflix. She says a lot of her friends, a lot of Gen Zs like the series. And I could see there's like, I think it's Ginny and Georgia, and there's ones that we won't watch. It's just out of our age range.
Okay.
Light comedies, funny stuff. There was one with Tina Fey, The Four Seasons. I don't know if you remember the movie, Brent, The Four Seasons was Alan Alda's movie in the 70s.
Yeah.
Tina Fey turned it into a series.
Okay.
It's actually pretty. It was absolutely funny. But it was more for people, I think, older than Gen Z.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Was it
Netflix,
all preachy like the last 4 seasons of MASH when Alan Alda got behind the camera? Or was it?
he was people don't realize Alan Alda was a great producer and director. He did a lot of stuff in the 70s and the 80s. And you know what? In my mind, Alan Alda should not get old. Like, he should be like he is in MASH, because I love MASH so much. And then he was in the series playing one of the characters' dads. My God, he's old.
Yeah, but I mean
It killed me.
The movie was awesome.
The Four Seasons.
No, MASH.
Oh, MASH, the movie was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I
Right.
mean, that was
But the show was awesome too, and it's very rare that a show and a movie are actually awesome. But yeah, the movie was great.
the movie
by the
set
way,
the trend.
You can go to Malibu State Park in California and see the set. There's also the set for Planet of the Apes and also the set for The Rifleman at Malibu State Park. That's where it was. And Andy Griffith, all filmed Malibu State Park. But-
Opie was there?
Opie was there.
Opie was in Opie was,
Andy.
Ooh, Andy, you need you got one hair out of place. Ooh, yeah. Do you ever see that old adage about Mayberry?
We promised some content, but we're
They
gonna
said
just
the
miss.
reason why everybody in Mayberry was happy was none of them were married. The only one who was married was the drunk
Yeah.
who got thrown. What was his name? What was the drunk's name on Andy Griffith, the funny guy?
I can't remember either. But I know who you're talking about.
And Ernest T. Bass was a psycho. That's all I'm going to tell you. He would break windows and chase women and carry them off. I mean, how that character ever made it on television
So you're saying Aunt B.
was not married. None of
No,
them were married.
I understand that she wasn't married, but I mean, you're saying she needed help.
No, Aunt B was fine. I think everybody was fine. It was the drunk that was married. He was the only one that had a problem. Everybody else seemed very happy not being married.
Well, I mean, wasn't
I mean,
he happy?
Howard Sprague
He was
was
happy
like-
in the tank, wasn't he?
That's why he wanted to get away from his wife.
That was Otis.
Otis.
Yeah, Otis.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're off the rails again. Somehow this has to do with money, but all I'm going to say is Netflix has figured it out. Where a lot of streaming services, look at the turmoil going on at Paramount right now. It's absolutely insane. Okay? So we get back. We want to talk about credit scores. We want to talk about money scripts, things that are very important that make you tick from a financial perspective. We'll be right back.
The Real Investment Advice blog. It's required reading for the informed investor. Catch it today at realinvestmentadvice.com.
Got questions about retirement? Let's talk about it over coffee. Our next Candid Coffee event isn't another sales pitch. It's your chance to learn how to turn savings into strategy and risk into confidence. Richard Rosso and Jonathan McCarty share the RIA Retirement Blueprint Saturday, July 19th, in a special Candid Coffee edition designed to help you structure your savings, level your risk, and craft a secure future. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Register now for the RIA Retirement Blueprint, Saturday, July 19th at realinvestmentadvice.com.
If you're working and looking to retire soon, a Medicare special enrollment period is in your future. Understanding Medicare choices, enrollment deadlines, and costs are essential to your overall standard of living in retirement. The wrong choices can cost you thousands in penalties. Make sense of Medicare's alphabet soup with RIA Advisors online resources and one-on-one partners to help secure the healthcare insurance choice that is right for your lifestyle and budget and avoid gaps in coverage. Click on the insurance tab at realinvestmentadvice.com today. realinvestmentadvice.com.
The Real Investment Show.
Are you a financial advisor sneaking peeks at our stuff? Instead of trying to do it all yourself, why not just join the team at RIA Advisors? Our full-service organization can provide you with the support, unparalleled research, and tools for managing your clients' money and honoring the fiduciary pledge of putting clients' best interest first. Don't take our word for it. Talk to the advisors that work with us. Want to come win with us? Go to our confidential advisor hub at realinvestmentadvice.com. RIA Advisors, big enough where it matters, agile enough when it counts.
Can't catch the whole show now? Listen to our podcast later at realinvestmentadvice.com.
Last night I got home and my wife was all excited. I went to ChatGPT and I've laid out a whole business plan for a coffee shop. I'm like, oh God.
The Real Investment Show podcast.
Well, a long time she's wanted to have her own bakery and I've been slowly encouraging her not to.
Same show, your schedule.
So I may be in the coffee shop business here soon, so I may need your help to support my wife.
The Real Investment Coffee Shop.
Exactly.
I like it.
Ooh,
It's got
I
a nice
like
ring
the
to
sound
it.
of that.
Exactly.
We'll have a couple soapboxes in the corner. We can stand up and we can put them to sleep with economics. Then they need more coffee. And then we'll go through, we'll sell so
brilliant.
much.
At realinvestmentadvice.com.
And now, another page from the Real Investment Advisors Investing Manifesto. Bulls win in bull markets. Bears win in bear markets. Eagles soar above and take advantage of opportunity. Let us help you soar as you reach your financial goals with RIA Advisors. Neither bull nor bear. RIA Advisors, 281-501-1791 or online at realinvestmentadvice.com.
The Real Investment Show.
Attention Chevron employees and anyone else receiving or considering a company severance package. We know the process can be intimidating. What should you know to maximize your payout? Lump sum or pension annuity, retirement plan rollover or not? What about tax timing your severance? The fiduciary advisors at RIA Advisors can help you make the best decisions for your situation. Call us today at 855-742-7526. That's 855-742-PLAN or online at realinvestmentadvice.com.
You're listening to The Real Investment Show.
The best part about Mr. Roberts is Mrs. Roberts. So if she does a coffee shop, and I'm not a big fan of coffee shops, I don't know how people go and write and work at coffee shops. They're loud, they're obnoxious. They are absolutely the worst for attention. You look sort of cool, I guess is why you do it.
Yeah,
but
you go
I would
sit in the chair and look at me, I'm
Mrs.
writing.
Roberts coffee shop. I heard she'll have the freshest buns in town, and I will be happy to be there. So, and that's a good diversification outside of the
warm
financial
bun,
business.
Warm bun diversification. They're squishy and delicious.
I had an idea to do a cinnamon roll shop. I did a whole financial plan when I was in my 20s for a place called Cinnahon.
Okay.
And all the women were dressed as cinnamon rolls. But all the cinnamon rolls would be sandwiches. Bacon and egg, burgers, but your rolls would be cinnamon rolls. And then we'd have all kinds of strange cinnamon rolls, maple syrup ones and all that. And then I brought up to my dad that I would like to have a place, if he would just fund me, that would just make wings. We would just specialize in wings and fries. And he says, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. And today there's Wingstop. So Dad, wherever you are, sorry, still upset about it.
He missed the bowl.
He's like, this is why you went to college. This is the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
All right. I just got to say,
Yeah.
I had this idea where we would take a puffed rice cereal
Already, I don't like it.
And then, but we would pour beer on it.
Oh, okay. Then
And so
I
it was, the catchphrase would have been snap, crackle, and burp.
yeah. I think a bourbon Rice Krispie when I go to Kentucky might be some idea to bring up. I'll probably get kicked out of the state, but I'd happy to do that. So let me say about all the naysayers, lawful money, about the economy. Retail sales were pretty strong in June from May, $722 billion seasonally adjusted. And they were falling in May and April. Now, I will tell you, wages are sort of slacking off compared to inflation. That's a concern. The employment market is really sort of solid, frozen. You're not seeing a lot of hiring. You're not seeing a lot of firing, right? I think that's more of a condition of AI than anything else, because consumers are and have been resilient. So all this doomsday stuff, you got to take with a grain of salt. Right. And it has turned out to be pretty resilient overall. We saw obviously tariff front running with inventories and so forth, and we got to see how companies are going to work those off. So we do have housing starts coming out. We have, again, University of Michigan consumer sentiment coming out. For July, the preliminary reading, 61.5 expected, 60.7 previously. So the consumer is definitely back. Now, I understand when you inflation adjusted, people are spending more money on the same amount of goods, and that can inflate the number. But I'm just looking at the trend of the numbers. And when you look at, Matt, bar and restaurant sales, consistently through the roof. People are still spending money.
Yeah.
But
when it costs $37 for a steak,
that's cheap, actually.
Is it?
Yeah. You go to some steakhouses, you're hitting 50.
I don't know, man. I was talking this week actually to a client that said he picked up, and he's sort of like in the flood area.
Okay.
Right, but he picked up a pound of meat, so brisket and some sausage and whatever. Right, he went and got a bucket of meat, a pound of meat.
That doesn't sound appetizing, but. Bucket o' meat, but I understand what you mean.
I mean, it's a bucket o' chicken. Sounds better.
That sounds better. Yeah.
$37 for brisket.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not saying everything is cheap, and the one thing, and we mentioned it on the show last year, was mentioning it now. Whoever the president was going to be, the whole discussion of lower inflation, the prices at the store are the prices at the store. They don't go down, okay? It's the rate of change that slows down, and we've absolutely seen that. Now, we've seen some pickup in some elements, of course, which I do think are tariff-related, but not being passed on to the consumer. But the issue is, what people look at is, when I go to the store and bread was $6 for a loaf, pre-pandemic it was $4, it's still $6. I am suffering from inflation.
Right.
There's a couple of ways to get those prices down. You don't like those ways because that means you have a disinflation, you have a deflationary spiral. That happens when you're going through a major economic derail and people will not spend, right? So we have this ability, this what they call it, the paradox of thrift, right? This will happen to you, and prices will drop. But it's very difficult outside of things like eggs or, cattle. Beef is high, right? But some of the prices you're paying for your standards every day, those are not going backwards.
Right.
And that's what I think people are having a tough time with, and I totally, absolutely get it.
I was promised cheaper eggs.
And you got them. They're off that was the thing they were down like 21% from, I think, in the last CPI report. So we did have egg inflation drop off.
Good.
But some other dairy items, supply and demand stuff, it's been difficult.
Yeah.
So the Fed's going to meet in July, right? We're going to meet this month. I don't think they're going to cut rates. There is one dissenter who's pretty strong that the labor market's cracking and we need to cut rates in July. You'll see a rate cut in September.
Who's the dissenter?
I think it was Williams. One of the Fed governors is. Let's see.
Was that the Philadelphia chair?
This is no, actually, it's Christopher Waller, Federal Reserve Governor Chris Waller.
Well, since we're going to bring up like credit reports and all of that sort of stuff, I'm going to give a slight synopsis if I can.
Sure.
If it's okay with you.
Real life financial synopsis.
Real life financial synopsis. The Federal Reserve that we have today is actually the fourth iteration of a centralized bank. And many of the founding fathers were against having a centralized bank. And the way this particular iteration got approved, and just to show you how much like politics are involved in everything, there's only one state, right? There's 12 or 13 central banks, right? There's 12 or 13 districts.
12.
But in that same number, there's only one state that has two central banks. And that's in Kansas City and St. Louis.
Okay.
So in order to get the financial or the Federal Reserve system in place that exists as it is now, as a, giveaway to the Speaker of the House at that time, they put two banks in Kansas. Now here in Houston, we have a Federal Reserve branch, but it's a branch of the Dallas Bank, right? It's not the Houston Federal Reserve Bank. And up until about, 10, 15 years ago, all the money used to be printed with wherever that bank
was
located.
Yeah.
Right.
Where they were domiciled.
Wherever that mint was. So monetary policy, bank policy has always been embedded in politics. It just is.
I absolutely agree with you there. Did an interview about this and said that the Fed should be independent, but you can't convince me they are. I look at Janet Yellen and I absolutely see someone who is absolutely driven by politics.
Where'd she go?
I'm right here. I'm hiding. I don't want Trump to come after me. She absolutely, and Lance and Michael wrote about this ad nauseum. There were so many opportunities she had to increase rates, and she didn't, and do certain things that she didn't do. So she was definitely driven by her ideology. I will say, and probably going to get blowback for this, I don't think Powell is driven as much by politics. I just don't. I don't see him as immersed in it as much. Yeah. I think he is trying, although I don't understand the 50 basis point rate cut that he did when inflation was higher than it is today, and people will say that's political. But I look at some of what he says. Don't believe that he cares to be political, and he doesn't care about Washington influence. He doesn't seem like a showboat kind of guy. I think he's trying to do his best. The Fed is imperfect, and he's just part of that system.
Right.
But I don't see him in the same light as I saw Janet Yellen based on her actions and her words. But again, we'll see. We're expecting a rate cut coming up, hopefully in September. But what the underlying message is the economy is strong, inflation is cooling, it's ticked up a little bit. So I understand why he's cautious, but the Fed is always notoriously late when it comes to these decisions. Right. We'll be right back.
Get daily investment news you can use, delivered at the speed of the internet at realinvestmentadvice.com.
Got questions about retirement? Let's talk about it over coffee. Our next Candid Coffee event isn't another sales pitch. It's your chance to learn how to turn savings into strategy and risk into confidence. Richard Rosso and Jonathan McCarty share the RIA Retirement Blueprint Saturday, July 19th, in a special Candid Coffee edition designed to help you structure your savings, level your risk, and craft a secure future. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Register now for the RIA Retirement Blueprint, Saturday, July 19th at realinvestmentadvice.com.
RIA Advisors Research is the envy of the industry. Our economic insights are featured on advisorperspectives.com, Fox Business, and MarketWatch. RIA provides advisors with marketing and back office support, objective research, and holistic, cutting-edge financial planning tools to meet your clients' needs. Want to join a winning team and be part of a fiduciary culture where you can do your best work? Then why haven't you contacted us yet? Go to our confidential advisor hub at realinvestmentadvice.com. RIA Advisors. Big enough where it matters, agile enough when it counts.
The Real Investment Show.
Attention Chevron employees and anyone else receiving or considering a company severance package. We know the process can be intimidating. What should you know to maximize your payout? Lump sum or pension annuity, retirement plan rollover or not? What about tax timing your severance? The fiduciary advisors at RIA Advisors can help you make the best decisions for your situation. Call us today at 855-742-7526. That's 855-742-PLAN or online at realinvestmentadvice.com.
And now, another page from the Real Investment Advisors Investing Manifesto. A passive investment portfolio requires active risk management. It's not a choice, it's necessity. Diversification doesn't protect against risk of loss. Let us actively help you reach your financial goals with RIA Advisors. Neither bull nor bear. RIA Advisors, 281-501-1791 or online at realinvestmentadvice.com.
You're listening to The Real Investment Show.
And we're back. So futures are still up slightly across the board. American Express announced this morning 2% in trading in pre-market. So stronger than expected Q2 earnings. Consumers are spending. Credit quality remained strong, reaffirming guidance for 2025. So another more evidence. Now always look at Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. Obviously American Express for a different type of consumer. And one could say that, well, wealthy boomers from stock market wealth and housing wealth, no debt, they're doing the best and they're continuing to spend. Well, that's true. But even psychologically, everybody holds things back in when they don't feel good about the economy. So American Express is another one showing you that consumers are still spending strong. I also looked at household debt to income ratios off the Federal Reserve report out of New York, and they look better than they have in a very long time. Yes, we're spenders. That's just how we operate, everybody. We're consumers. Everybody tries to make the rest of the world consumers. China, the Eurozone, they spend, I think, retail sales maybe 35% of their overall GDP. Obviously, we're at 71%. So you learn a lot about money growing up. Some of it you don't even realize. Dr. Brad Klontz, Klontz, created something called Money Scripts. If you look up Brad Klontz, look up Money Script, you can actually get a free Money Script report, but it's going to show you, it's going to expose your money strengths and weaknesses from the things were imprinted in you when you were younger. But children are like sponges. The ideas and habits from people around them. And those habits are self-defeating or self-enhancing. And one study that came out from something, a think tank, researchers said Opportunity Insights, that's a Harvard-based institute on how to improve upward mobility, is that 25 million people study. Childhood location impacts adult credit scores regardless of similar economic backgrounds, right? So differences in behavior, Poor kids from Baltimore ended up with far worse credit scores as adults than poor kids from a nearby county, right? So those childhood experiences show how you manage, will affect how you manage your finances. Now, I will say, and I got to delve into this study because I think I find it fascinating. I grew up with parents who were terrible with money, horrible with money. But I also had a lot of people around me who were very good at money. It's just that my radar was more on the people that were good with money, and my antenna was shut down for the people who were bad with money because I didn't want to be like that. I don't know where that came from. That's just how I was wired. So I always looked at the credit score as something important, and that we didn't have credit scores when I was growing up, obviously. But my money habits led to the credit score I have today. So the research finds that places where poor children grew up to have higher credit scores are also places where poorer and wealthier people are more likely to interact or be friends. And parents are enormously influential, but parents of their friends might be as well. They don't say anything about their grandchildren in this study. I mean, grandparents in this study. But, and I guess because my grandparents were part of the the silent generation, the greatest generation, they were Depression era babies, right?
So they stuffed their mattresses with dollar bills and 50-cent pieces.
Well, it was more like there's multiple thousands of uses for a Cool Whip, empty Cool Whip container. No matter how orange they get stained, or there was nothing we threw away. Tin foil, whatever the heck it was. And my dad went the opposite way with having parents like that.
Gotcha.
But I sort of gravitated more toward that. So the point is, where you grow up, who you grow up around. Now, I will say, we don't have neighborhoods anymore. I mean, at least I don't think we do. Not the way I remember them anyway. I'm sure they morph, but neighbors don't really. In New York City, where I grew up, in the building I grew up, it was a microcosm. It was a neighborhood within a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Doors were open. You knew people from all different floors. Mrs. Marinetti has this going on this floor. And Miss Moskowitz has this going on that floor. Go eat and try that. And you learn from all these people around you on how they handle money. Even when I looked around at apartments, inside apartments, I can sort of tell. I always felt, this is really terrible, the apartments that were very neat.
This is the terrible part?
Yeah, to me anyway.
Okay.
The apartments that were really neat and clean, they didn't have a lot of stuff.
Right.
Because people were poor. The apartments that were neat and clean, to me, those were the people who were better with money. Yeah. That was my thought as a kid.
Right. Well,
that may have not have been the case, because they say people that are wealthy and smart are messy. So, but I always looked at it as the opposite.
Yeah, I don't know to the extent that rings true.
It's just in my own head. That was my own head at the time.
I'm an extremely messy person personally, and I'm broke as hell. So I don't know. I don't know that makes any difference at all.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is like from a credit perspective.
Go ahead.
Right. Well, we're trying to manage what our credit looks like. Mm-hmm. There is really two things that we can do. One is, at a minimum, pay your bills on time.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's the easiest thing you can do.
Easiest.
Yet if you don't pay them on time, that's the thing that can ding you the most, right?
It can. Mm-hmm. When the yellow bill comes from the power company, you should pay attention. But when the pink bill comes from the power company,
see, I've never had these colorful bills, so I'm really happy.
You should really pay attention.
Do they get a red one? Do you get a red bill?
No, yeah.
That's the letter that says you're cut off.
Right.
Okay.
They just like, you don't need electricity tomorrow. That's right. The other thing is, and this happens for a multitude of reasons. I have a very good friend that went through a traumatic divorce episode.
Okay.
and his credit in the whole procedure ended up being screwed up.
Sure.
Right?
That happens a lot.
It does. Mm-hmm. The other thing that you can do to help fix your credit is wait. These credit repair services and all of this stuff that's out there, they're not going to fix your credit. They're only going to get a fee.
It's a quick way, but it may not be the right way to do it.
Well, I mean, it's not anything. I mean, you're going to pay them, somewhere between $5,000 and $5,000 to do nothing.
But it does take, like you said, you can do it yourself. It takes time.
Takes time.
It's a
you
process.
just gotta wait. You just gotta wait.
People who are frustrated with that process of building the credit score have to understand it's one slow slog uphill. It's a schlep.
It is.
As Grandma would say. It's a schlep.
I'll tell you in my personal experience, my folks had a GM Visa because we were a General Motors sort of family.
You would get deals on car, right? What would you get?
You would get I mean, it was like the first iteration of points, right? And so your points would go to, interest rate reductions or whatever else. And then, as we realized that GM sells garbage, then we stopped buying GMs. But my
GMs
folks,
went to BMs real fast.
Real fast.
Go ahead.
But as we realized this, my folks forgot to close a credit card. Right? And I was probably a 12-year-old kid that my folks thought, hey, I'm going to help my kid's credit score. I'm going to add him on as an authorized user.
Yeah, boy.
And they forgot about the damn card. And then, 30 years later, there's an annual fee of $50. And all of a sudden that isn't paid.
So if I get it right here.
Yeah.
Your parents were like Rose at the end of the Titanic on the wood. And you're Jack. They looked to you like they wanted to help you, but you just went under.
Right. Yeah. I was like, save yourself.
Save yourself.
Yeah.
There's enough room for all of us, but save yourself.
So there's, but I mean, there's a whole procedure you have to go through. You have to call them up. You have to file disputes. You have to blah, 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 blah. I mean, and now the funny thing is that they want to sell you protection for them screwing up, right? I mean, they want to sell you a $30 a month fee for the sake that they don't screw up records that you never asked for.
Yep.
But you got to stay on top of it because, to your point, we are a consumerist society.
Well, even our older clients who are retired and said, I don't need credit anymore, but you never know when you need it. Use it. Use credit. Do credit utilization. Credit utilization or credit management is also important to your credit score, isn't it?
Well, for sure.
Just using it and paying off.
They won't give it to you when you need it. They'll give it to you when you don't need it. So when you don't need it, it's better to, increase those limits and max that out.
Absolutely. And remember, tell your kids, ask their prospective dates, their credit scoring. Anybody under 750? No more, no second date. That's my rule to my daughter. It's over. Hey, listen, we love being here with you today. Lance is back on Monday. Hope you all have an incredible weekend. Stay safe.